Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys could shake things up with $80 million trade. The Dallas Cowboys made a couple of big moves at the NFL trade deadline, acquiring linebacker Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals and snatching defensive tackle Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets. The Williams acquisition was definitely the bigger of the two, but it created somewhat of a logjam along the interior of the Cowboys' defensive line. Now, Dallas has Williams, Kenny Clark and Odigiezuwa up the middle, which means that one of them will ultimately be short on playing time for the rest of 2025 and heading into 2026. Is it possible the Cowboys could open things up with another trade? Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon thinks so, suggesting that Dallas moves Odigiezuwa during the offseason. It remains to be seen how the Cowboys will utilize Odigiezuwa alongside Quinnen Williams as well as preseason acquisition Kenny Clark, but the fact is they could be positioned to leverage that newfound interior depth to improve elsewhere this offseason, Gagnon wrote. You'd think they'd be more likely to move on from Odigiezuwa, whose play has dropped off in 2025. Odigiezuwa had been one of the most underrated defensive tackles in football over the first 4 years of his career, and it led to the former third-round pick bagging a 4-year, $80 million contract with the Cowboys this past offseason. However, Odigiezuwa's production has fallen off considerably in 2025. He has managed 25 tackles and 1 sack through 9 games while posting a 60.4 overall grade at Pro Football Focus, his lowest mark since his rookie campaign. The UCLA product is still just 27 years old, though, so he would definitely have some value on the trade market, although his fat contract coupled with his dip in productivity could make him rather difficult to move. Odigiezuwa is played in 61% of Dallas defensive snaps in 2025, and while that is still the second most of his career, it is down quite a bit from the 78% he tallied last season. We'll see if the Cowboys ultimately decide to make a move at defensive tackle during the offseason. Eagles, Cowboys could battle over $106 million star-named offseason trade candidate. When the page turns to the 2026 NFL offseason, the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles could both be in the market for an edge rusher. The Cowboys failed to bolster their edge group before the trade deadline, and the void left when Micah Parsons' sack production was shipped off to the Green Bay Packers has yet to be filled. In Philadelphia, the Eagles improved their edge rusher group with the trade for Jaelan Phillips, but the young edge rusher is going to be a free agent in 2026, so there's no guarantee he'll be back. Knowing all that, it's possible the Eagles and Cowboys could get into a bidding war for Las Vegas Raiders edge rusher Max Crosby, who was named an off-season trade candidate by Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon. The 4-time Pro Bowler will be 29 next year, and it's looking increasingly likely that he peaked in 2022 and 2023. The Raiders just gave him a hefty contract extension, but they can save nearly $31 million in salary cap space by trading Crosby this offseason. It's got to be a consideration, especially if they're holding out hope for Tyree Wilson, and/or if a Crosby deal can help them land their next franchise quarterback. The Raiders and Crosby have remained steadfast in their desire to stay together, but a lot can change between now and next offseason, especially if the Raiders continue on their current path to finishing as one of the worst teams in the NFL. We know the Cowboys had interest in Crosby at the trade deadline based on several reports, and Eagles general manager Howie Roseman would be hard-pressed to pass up on an opportunity to land an elite edge rusher. Crosby inked a $106.5 million extension with the Raiders during the offseason, but it's a reasonable deal with a $35.5 million annual average and no guaranteed money beyond 2026. The Cowboys are slated to be $46.7 million over the cap in 2026, and the Eagles are only projected to have $20.5 million. That said, where there's a will, there's a way, and both the Cowboys and Eagles will find a way to make it work if they have a chance to bring Crosby in.